What's up guys, this is Enigma back with part 2 of the Minecraft client coding tutorial, and this second episode, or first episode really, of coding would be how to create the GUI for your client. Basic GUI, basic hello, this is our client, blah blah blah. So what you want to do is you want to first expand client, expand source, and then look for net.minecraft.src and expand that, and this is basically the bulk of Minecraft. This is everything pretty much. Right, now you want to look for GUI in-game. I'll also teach you how to edit the main menu if you want to know about that as well. So open GUI in-game, you can open that, and then we're going to add a few lines of code here. So just under private final Minecraft MC, I'll probably zoom in if it really helps. But watching high quality 1080p. Right, public class. Right, now what we type in is private boolean BOOLEAN key states with a capital S like that, and then 2 square brackets, and then a semicolon at the end, and that's one function. We're going to scroll down a little bit until we find this GUI in-game Minecraft part 1 Minecraft, and inside these 2 brackets just above this.mc you want to type in key states, make sure you spell it right, equals new boolean, exactly how it's spelled before, and then square brackets 2, 5, 6. And that's basically saying that this boolean, because it's an array table, that will hold 256 values, which are all the keybinds. So now we want to do a new public. Right, this is under all of that, just above this text here. Boolean, public boolean check key with a capital K. It's common coding protocol to always use a capital letter as a splitter between words in your class files and variables, because you can't actually use spaces. Check key, and inside your parentheses you want to type in int I. Now you can open up your little squiggly brackets, and you'll get an error, but don't worry, that'll go away in a minute. And then you want to do an if statement, and it's going to say if mc.currentscreen equals null. So that's saying if it's not enabled, then it's not going to check for any keys. So that means, like, if you're not actually in game, then it won't check for keys. Sorry, I need a drink here. Pardon me. Sorry, does not equal null. So the exclamation mark goes before the equal sign. Then you want to type in return false. And then just under this, just outside this bracket, get in a line, and then we're going to type in if keyboard with a capital K dot is key down, and then where it says key we're going to replace that with I, equals exclamation mark key states I, and open up your parentheses, and then we want to type in return key states I equals exclamation mark key states I. Now it's going to underline an error here, and that's because we've not imported the keyboard for the lightweight Java game library. So well, I guess we haven't inputted it. Right. Anyway, let's just ignore that for now. That should go away. Else return false. And I don't know why that's an error. Let me find. Right, so sorry about that. I know what's wrong. Basically what we're doing here is an if statement checks an argument. Instead of checking an argument, in this case it's actually assigning the variable, which is not what we want to do. So what we want to do is replace the exclamation mark and put it before the equal sign, and then everything should be all good to go. So now you've got no errors in your code. You can press find, you can go edit find or press Ctrl and F, and what you'll find for is record playing up 4, and it will take you down to here, bigger than 0. So you can just close your find, and then this is like where all the main GUI coding goes. So you can make a big bit of space here, and then the first line we're going to type in is else. I'm not really going to explain why this goes here and whatever, but just go with it. So inside your else statement, you can get some more space. It's always good to have a lot of space. You don't really need the space after it though. So once you've got your space, this is where everything goes. So what we want to do, we want a nice little box for our text to go in. So for the code for a box, or the function for a box, is draw rect, like that, like to draw a little rectangle, as you could suppose by the name. And it takes 5 arguments. The first argument is the x offset, so that means how many pixels from the top it is. No, sorry, from the side, which is 2 pixels in. How many from the top, which is 2. How long it is. In this case, I'm going to do 425, and I'll show you mine in a minute. And the fourth argument is the height, which I will do 14 because the text size is 10. I think the text height is like 10 pixels or 12 pixels. In fact, it's 10 pixels. So this is just so it's nice and uniform. And the last piece of information we need to give it is a color code, and it can be really anything you want, but it's a hex. It's a I don't know the name of the color code, but a good color code is a nice grey box of 0xAF. AF means half transparent. 424242, which is grey, and it's a little error there, and that's just because we've not put in our semicolon. There we go. So that draws a big long box. Now if you want to see how this looks before having to like recompile, you can just press this little green button here, the little run button. Click OK, save all your code, and that will draw a nice little rectangle across the top of your screen. So it'll be 2 pixels in from here, 2 pixels in, and then it will be like 14 big, and it will expand across the whole screen. So if I just go ahead and show you this, so you can create your new world, just call it whatever you want, just get yourself some powers and whatever. Now you won't actually be able to log in as your real account, so your name will keep changing, by the way. So if you need to spawn in items, you always have to like type something in chat to make sure you know your name. If you don't, see, it logs in as a random player each time. In this case it's player 933. Right, so look, there you can see it. You've got a nice grey bar across the top, which is nicely positioned on the screen. I think it's in a nice position. It's perfect fit. And inside here we can do our text. So to do that, we can just come off this. We don't need this open. To draw text on the screen, what we need to type in is var8, which is basically short for font renderer, because it used to be font render, but now it's shortened to var8. Draw string with shadow, and each word, as I said before, is a capital letter except from the first word. And then this takes, let me think, it takes 4 arguments. First argument is the text that you want it to say, which always goes in quotation marks, by the way, unless you're always using a variable, but we'll get to that later. var8.drawstring with shadow, and then inside here this is what it's going to say. So at the top of your bar you want it to say like, this is my client, or whatever. Now just outside those quotation marks you want to press comma, which means it's going to give our second argument. 4 pixels in, so it's 2 pixels into the box from the side, 2 pixels into the box from the top, and then the last argument we want to give it is the color code 0x AABB. It doesn't really matter, you can mess around with the codes and figure out what's good and what you like, but I'm going to use this code for now because it's the one I use in my actual client, and it's quite a nice colour. I think it's like a nice aqua colour. So I'll go ahead and show you this. Just give it some time. You can also run this in debug mode, which is this one here, and that means you can make active changes to your code and it will auto update in game, so you don't have to keep closing it and opening it. So I'll do that next time, so show you what it's like. I hope I'm not going far too fast for you guys to keep up. There you go, it says this is my client, and a nice blue text, and it's nicely fit in the box. So there you go. So we can quit that, we don't need that one anymore. But as I said, this is our X origin. If you want that to be like something else, then you can do that. But we don't need to do that right now. Right, so I took a quick pause there. But anyway, I'm back. So now that we've got that, we can do something else. We can basically copy this here, or we can just even do spaces, I guess. For a tab, like the tab, do you know how you press the tab key and it gives you like 5 spaces? If you want to do that in your code, you can just do \T and that will give you a tab. And then you can type in like something like press, and then whatever key for your menu. So if you want to do a key, press, let's do press, and then we'll do some of those little things, and that for menu. Save that, and I'll run it in debug mode this time just so I can show you what happens. Excuse me if I sound exhausted, I've got a cold and I have asthma as well, so that doesn't really go too well. So I might be breathing heavily or whatever, but just deal with it. Well, that didn't actually work, so this is a prime example. The \T doesn't work because it's Minecraft, obviously. So let's just take this out of here, and what we're going to do is we're going to basically do another var8.drawstring. So var8. You don't have to do drawstring with shadow, by the way. You can also do just drawstring. That works as well. You don't have to do everything exactly the same, just to let you know. Drawstring with shadow. And if you're looking for a list of these kind of color codes, I don't know where to find a good one, to be honest. var8.drawstring with shadow. Press. Grave for menu. And the reason I've done this as well is just for a quick tip as well that I need to tell you. X offset will do this one at maybe 130, and Y offset is the same at 4. Same colour, 0x AABB, and then semicolon. Now, if I save this, there we go, you can see it's fixed itself in game. And you can always tweak this so you've got it exactly where you want. Maybe that can go to 150, Just depends how you like it. It's just your client, you choose. So you go, press grave for menu. Now, this is a bit messed up. So, if you want, right, let's do our check key command in. We want to do our, we want the grave key to pop up a menu, which is going to be like another box with some text in it that says this is enabled and this is disabled and whatever. So what we need to do is type an if statement. Well, in fact, first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new class, and this is going to store all the toggles for our mods. So in net.minecraft.src, expand that, right click it and click new class. You can call this whatever you like. You call it mods, you can call it hacks, variables, you can even call it something stupid like it doesn't really matter. Just call it whatever you want. I'll just say mods. Finish. So this is our public class mods folder, or class, sorry. And then inside here is going to be our booleans, which is the toggles. A boolean statement, by the way, is just a yes or no. So that's the only values it can return is yes and no, just so it doesn't get too confused. It's really easy and it's really useful. So what we're going to do is just going to close this because it's wasting up our computer usage. And we want to type in public static boolean, and then after this we're going to type in the name of our mod or whatever our toggle is. In this case it will be menu equals false, and you can set that to true if you want it to be enabled by default, but we're not. Now we're going to do our check key command for our menu. If, and open parentheses, and if you couldn't have already told by now, whatever, I can't even speak in proper structure. If you couldn't have already, if you couldn't tell already that about this, Java is very case sensitive, so if you use a capital I, for example, it will not work. It has to be a small I, small f. So just do everything pretty much exactly as I'm doing, but just mess around with it until you've got it working for yourself. And remember, at the line of everything, there's a semicolon, except for when you're doing an if statement that opens up into a body, which is the two squiggly bracket things. So, if check key, so that's going to say if it checks key, and inside here, keyboard dot key, and it's going to give you all these. It's going to say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What we're going to do is we're going to do key apostrophe, and that's because it gets the grave and apostrophe mixed up on the keyboard. Don't know why that is, but who knows. So that's why I used that as an example. So if check key keyboard dot key apostrophe. So basically that's, what the hell? Okay, whatever. You can see I'm not that a good computer. So that's saying if apostrophe is pressed, then it's going to switch a variable, and that variable is going to be the menu. So it's going to say, we're going to need the name of this class, which is mods, and then the name of the variable. Because it's public, it can be used by any other class in the package. So that would be mods.menu with a capital M, mods.menu, and you see it already comes up, equals exclamation mark mods.menu. And that means it's basically change it to whatever it isn't. So for example, if it's enabled, change it so it isn't enabled, and if it's disabled, change it so it is enabled. Right, it's simple enough. Right, so I like to keep my keybinds and my coding and my things separate, but it's up to you. So now what we want to do is if mods.menu. We don't have to type in equals true. We just have to type in mods.menu because it's a boolean. That's basically saying if it's enabled, then open up your body. You want to draw a rectangle, so draw rect, and then we're going to give it a couple arguments. Offset 2, offset y is 18, I believe, and x width is about 2, maybe 130, and y width can be 180 for now, and the color code can be the same as the top bar, so 0x AF 424242 semicolon, and then we can do our draw string with shadow. var8.draw string with shadow, and our arguments is going to be menu, and you don't have to type this, you don't have to type in menu, I'm just doing it just so it's nice and neat. And var8.draw string with menu, blah blah blah, and our arguments are x offset 4, y offset 20, that's 2 pixels in from the setting box I believe, and then the color can be, let's do something different, let's do 0x AABB with capitals this time. I think that's like some sort of different. Let's just try something 424. Some codes might not work, it just depends. I'm not really sure what colours these are, I'm just messing around while I'm doing this. So let's run this. So when we press the apostrophe key or the grave key as it is on your keyboard, it'll open up that little box and it'll say menu inside it. Now I'm going to check how long I've been recording for. 22 minutes, Jesus. Let's open this up. This world. Right, so if we press apostrophe, or what it likes to call apostrophe, you can see that it comes up with menu. And it comes up with a big box. It's a bit too big, but we can change that. Probably change that to 16, and we'll change where menu is, and we'll change that to 18. So that's your basic main menu toggle, and you can toggle that on and off as much as you like. So now just change this to 18, and we'll change that to 16. That's pretty much you. So I'm kinda just talking to myself here. Yeah. Right. I guess that's it for this tutorial then, because that's basically the main GUI edited. In the next video I will be teaching some basic mods, and yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.